Okay, so I've made so many videos about this. Ubisoft is a dumpster fire. Alright, Ubisoft is a dumpster fire of a company, and they haven't done anything good, it feels like, in 2024. Alright, however, this video today is going to be focusing on the one good thing that Ubisoft actually brought us in 2024. Now, I know a lot of you guys are sitting here like, what could that possibly be, right? Because Ubisoft has been absolutely abysmal this year. Their stock is at like $3 right now. All right. The one good thing that they did this year was Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and I want to talk about it because they completely, they did this game dirty. Ubisoft did this game dirty, not the consumers. Ubisoft did not care about this project, and they just tossed it aside. We're gonna go ahead and talk about it because it's an interesting topic right here. So Prince of Persia is a pretty beloved franchise for me personally. Like I loved these games as a kid. Sands of Time is probably the best in the entire franchise. I feel like most Prince of Persia fans will agree with that. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw that there was a Prince of Persia game coming out in 2024 that was sort of like a soft reboot of sorts. I was a little bit nervous just because it's Ubisoft. Ubisoft, they're Ubisoft. Um, I was like, I don't know how they're gonna mess this up, but they're gonna do it somehow. They're gonna do something weird. But I recently played Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and it's amazing. Like it's great. The art style is great here. The combat, the boss fights, the platforming is so much fun. And at times, like I'm just like, there's no way this is a Ubisoft game. This is the same company that brought us Skull and Bones, Star Wars Outlaws. That's going to be bringing us Assassin's Creed Shadows. Hopefully not. It's crazy that they made this game and they don't ever talk about it. They don't really ever acknowledge this game like at all. Even when it was coming out, I never saw any advertisements for it. Ubisoft just did not care about this project for whatever reason. And this is probably like one of the best projects they put out in like 10 years. Like this is people out there are considering Prince of Persia to be like a game of the year contender. I don't think it'll win game of the year, but I think it deserves some award. Like the soundtrack here is crazy, but I don't think it will get any awards just because it's under the Ubisoft name. I mean, at this point, they're just a laughing stock of the industry, and a lot of people will be turned away from Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown just because they see the Ubisoft name right under the title. You know what I mean? Something worth mentioning here also is that some Ubisoft executive came out recently and said that consumers have way too high of expectations and that consumers are essentially spoiled and they don't know how to accept like an average game anymore essentially, and that's just flat out not true. And Prince of Persia is literally a true example of consumers aren't spoiled nowadays. You know what I mean? Because if you talk to anyone who's actually played this game, they'll tell you it's fantastic, right? And like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown isn't some massive open world game like most Ubisoft games. It's not, trying to be this crazy live service game or this next groundbreaking game. It's just a fun 2D platformer, Metroidvania. Like that's literally it. And everyone who's played it has a pretty, positive opinion on it. So how are gamers spoiled, Ubisoft? Like you literally are essentially just, you know, you created your own counter argument. Your own counter argument to that statement is literally Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Like, I guarantee you, if you put more effort behind the marketing of this game, it would have been way better and it would have sold more. Because Ubisoft at this point, I feel like they just consider, The Lost Crown to be like a failure, even though they didn't have any marketing for this game, and they, like I said before, they don't even acknowledge it. It's like they don't want any attachment to it, which makes no sense because it's fantastic. So I don't understand why they wouldn't want anything to do with it. And this is just reinforcing my point that I just think the Ubisoft executives are just dumb. Like that, they're just out of touch and dumb. Like I'm sorry, but that's what it is. You have this Ubisoft executive coming out and saying consumers are way too spoiled, yet literally Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown is great. Everyone who's played it loves it, and it's like I said, it's not anything crazy. It's not some massive open world game that's trying to be the next Elden Ring or the next Baldur's Gate 3. It doesn't have any game breaking mechanics. It's literally just a good Metroidvania with creativity, and it's just a lot of fun, and that's it. But the consumers are too spoiled, I guess. Even though this is a big change of pace for the entire gaming industry. Like we don't see AAA titles like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown all that often, which is sad because this is a great game. Like I said, like we need more of this, man. We need more of this, especially from Ubisoft. They're notorious for releasing great games, especially 2D platformers like Rayman Legends, great game. And then they did nothing after that. Like, they didn't do anything with it. You know what I mean? And they just, I don't know why they don't want any association with Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. But yeah, it makes no sense to me, man. And this is what I think sucks the most about the current Ubisoft situation. First thing is the employees and the designers behind Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Because, man, they put their all into this project. This is great. This is a great video game. And what they got in return was a massive explosion in their face. You know what I mean? Ubisoft is essentially going under, and that is literally, like, the people who worked on Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown and delivered this fantastic product. It doesn't matter how good or how hard they worked. Like, you know, it means nothing because Skull and Bones was too expensive and that cost them a bunch of money. Star Wars Outlaws was too expensive, that cost Ubisoft a bunch of money. So Prince of Persia could have been successful with sales and it still wouldn't have mattered. That's what really sucks here. And I wouldn't be surprised if anyone that worked on this game got laid off because the executives are just going to protect themselves here. And it's so unfortunate, man, because this is such a talented team. You can tell that this is a talented team, and you know, they, no matter what they did, like they couldn't get any results. Like, and I don't think that it was, you know, good for them. Like, imagine how they must feel is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Imagine how they must feel. Like, I cannot imagine. It's great, man. It's got to be so crappy. And on top of that too, another thing that sucks from like a consumer standpoint is that we may never get a Prince of Persia game ever again, given the circumstances of Ubisoft. You know, they delivered a great installment in the Prince of Persia franchise. I'm so excited that this game came back in 2024, but we're probably never going to see Prince of Persia again after this, given the circumstances with Ubisoft. And it's like, I mean, it's just going to reinforce my point that Skull and Bones and Star Wars Outlaws was just irresponsible. You cannot spend that much money and that much resources on projects like that, because you have projects like Prince of Persia, okay, that did not cost near that, and it could have been successful if you put a little bit more elbow grease with the marketing, right? You had a talented team behind it and you messed it up, right? And you could release multiple games throughout the year that don't cost that much money, like Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, and consumers will love it. Literally ask anyone who's played this game. This game is so good. This is probably one of the best releases of 2024. It is literally the one good thing Ubisoft did. One good thing Ubisoft did in 2024. And it's just unfortunate, man. I really hope that the people that worked on this game, you know, stay in their line of work, and I hope that they're given opportunities, and I hope that this isn't, you know, affecting them. You know, because it's very much something that could, given the circumstances in Ubisoft right now. And it just sucks. Overall, it seriously just sucks for Prince of Persia fans and for, you know, the designers behind this game. And there is rumor floating around that a company like Tencent is going to come in and bail Ubisoft out. I don't know the details on that too much. I just hope that whatever happens with Ubisoft, that this studio and this team in specific that works on Prince of Persia is able to create another Prince of Persia game at some point. I hope, man, because it's too good. It's low-key probably one of the best Metroidvanias I've ever played, and I love Prince of Persia, man. Like, I don't want to see this IP just dissipate, because I was so excited to see it come back. And it's not the consumer's fault that this failed. It's purely Ubisoft classic at this point, right? And you know, it's just annoying too, because Ubisoft they could low key be at the top of the game right now, right? Star Wars, they wasted the Star Wars IP. That game, you know, it could have been good, and I don't know what they did. You know, a massive Star Wars game would have done great for sales. You have their other IPs like Splinter Cell, for example, or Ghost Recon. You know, they could put more effort in making some good installments for those. Those would sell well. People love those. Remember those, Ubisoft? You know, I'm getting so sick and tired of these corporations, like, just burning down, like, their cash cows, essentially, and, like, their assets. And it's just irresponsible business. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's the same with Sony. Sony, why are you remastering Horizon Zero Dawn when you have all these IPs? Ubisoft, why are you being Ubisoft? You know what, I just hate seeing IPs wasted, because it's like the potential is always there, man. And then for them to just kind of for the executive, not executive, whatever, whoever he is, to come out and blame consumers and say consumers have too high of expectations. Come on, man. You're just showing your true colors, dude. You cannot gaslight us. Like, it's not gonna work. But yeah, I really wish that the whatever happens with Ubisoft, I really, really hope that the team behind Prince of Persia gets picked up and they're given a platform to make another Prince of Persia title. All right, because they deserve it. They really, really do. Um, yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. I think this Prince of Persia game is a really big piece in all the drama with Ubisoft that no one really talks about, right? Because it's pretty important to note this game and how Ubisoft has kind of treated this game. Like I said before, it's like they pretend it doesn't even exist. It's like the stepchild they let live under. It's like their Harry Potter game, right? Like they just let it live under the attic or whatever, under the stairs, whatever, dude. Like they don't care about it at all, you know. So I think it's really important to mention Prince of Persia in this whole Ubisoft discussion, though, because it's a bigger piece to this puzzle than you guys think. But yeah, um, that's gonna do it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy, and if you guys do like content like this, make sure to drop a like and a subscribe, because I'm dropping content like this daily, not daily, regularly. It's good, yeah, regularly. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.